The Indian economy has grown at 6.3% in the second quarter of this financial year. Now, what does this statement mean? What does this GDP data mean and why does it matter? Let's begin with the basics. GDP, or the gross domestic product, is a measure of all the goods and services produced in an economy in any given time period. So what this basically means is between July to September of this year, 2022, the Indian economy has grown by 6.3% as compared to the previous year. Now, we have to look at this in perspective to understand whether this is a good number or a bad number. What does this mean for India's growth, India's economy? How are we faring as compared to the rest of the world? The first number you need to look at is what happened in the same period last year. So last year, between July to September, we grew at 8.4%. Clearly, the growth has slowed down. Now, if I compare this to the previous quarter, that means the 3 months preceding this, between April to June, you see that we grew at 13.5% then. So a further slowdown. But let's put these numbers in a bit of perspective. The 13.5% which we grew at between April to June was because of what's called a base effect. Due to COVID-19, we'd seen a huge drop in growth. Consecutively, the next year saw a big jump in numbers, and now that's all evened out. So the 6.3% that we're seeing, put very simply, is showing a truer, clearer picture of the Indian economy. Whenever you're looking at such data or looking at such numbers and trying to figure out what its implications are, it's important to look at the breakup. These GDP numbers are made out of different sectors and how they are faring. The manufacturing sector, very particularly this time round, has done poorly. That means factory output, the rate at which we are creating goods, has slowed down. In fact, it has contracted by minus 4.3%. What's doing relatively well continues to be Indian agriculture, and that's a seasonal thing. This is an important period between, July to September. That's grown by about 4.6%. So why has this happened? Why have we seen this relatively slower growth? The biggest reason is high prices. We've all been feeling it. We've all been seeing it. Inflation has gone up, and it has been fueled in part by the Reserve Bank of India's actions as well, because they have been increasing interest rates to curb inflation. That has dampened spirits of companies who have to borrow money to run their businesses and has led to overall growth slowing down. Just for perspective, between this period, June to September, in these 3 months, the Reserve Bank of India increased interest rates by a whole 1% point. That means all of your loans cost more and perhaps you had less propensity to spend. Is it all doom and gloom? Well, actually no. Relative to other countries, we are doing better. In fact, we've outpaced China in the second quarter. They showed better than expected growth of 3.9% in their second quarter. And typically quarter 3, which is what we are in right now, between October to December, is the best quarter for the Indian economy. That's because a lot of festivals fall in this time, and typically people spend more money in this time of the year. We are an economy fueled by consumption. Our large population and our propensity to consume is what drives the economy. So it's expected we will do better in the time to come. Even so, it is giving us very clear signals that we're not immune to what's happening around the world. It's been nearly a year of suffering war in Ukraine and Russia. That's impacted the global economy. All prices have gone up, and India is feeling the impact of that as well. So why does this GDP number matter? You're probably wondering that if you've made it through this portion of the video. It gives you a sense of how things are going to improve for you as well. For example, are you going to get better pay hikes next year? It depends on growth of the economy. Are you going to perhaps be able to move to more jobs? It depends on the economy whether all of those jobs are going to be out there for you to choose. Is the government going to make decisions that help grow the economy? They will be looking at this data as well, which is why this data is important, and it's crucial that you understand what it means.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.